Alright, hey guys, this is going to be a quick video. I've done this like 17,000 times. I'm just tired of making this video, so I want to get this right this time, and I want it to be quick because I don't want you to have to wait here 20 minutes. Let's go. Default settings in Anki do not really work that well for me for studying purposes. By default, it gives you a new card and you answer it within 10 minutes, and then if you get it right, you don't see it till the next day. So let's change that because that's not really, it's not good. And I just swatted a little mosquito because he was there and I could see him. Anyways, hold down on the deck that you want to edit. You can go into deck options. I'm using the default options group. This is the basic. If you have other decks and other option groups, that's not going to be in this video. So by default, this is what deck option group this is in. New cards. Up top you see steps in minutes, and it's 1, 10, 30, 60, 180. Those are intervals that I put in there. That's what works for me. 1 and 10 is the default, and that just isn't enough for my studying purposes. I was losing the information way too regularly with that. So after you answer the question right, the new card right, it's going to come up within 10 minutes. If you answer it right again, then it's going to wait 30 minutes before you see that card again. After 30 minutes and you get it correct, you won't see it again for another 60 minutes, and so on. After 3 hours answering it correct, it will send the card to the next day, or rather the graduating interval, or you have to make it to that graduating interval. But by default, if you don't have any more steps, it's going to hit that graduating interval. Below you can see I changed the easy interval to 1 day from 4 days, and that's so that if I have a card that I am pretty sure that I know, and I don't want to go through the new card studying process, I'll hit the easy button and it will send it into tomorrow's review. So that's why I have that set up. And then the other setting I have changed, if you go back a screen and go down to your lapses, when you get a card wrong, it resets the card, it goes into lapse mode. And by default, it's also set to 1 and 10. And here is where I just mirrored the settings I just showed you, so that if I get a card wrong, I go through the new card process basically all over again. I changed leech threshold to 0 lapses and the leech action to tag only. By default, what will happen is if you get a card wrong too many times, it will suspend that card and you won't see it again unless you manually dig it out. So this just prevents that from happening, and you can search by tag if you really care to see which cards you're having a hard time with. But I left that alone. The other one setting that I have in here is my maximum reviews a day are higher, so that I get to see all of my review cards. If you don't have that set higher and you have more than that many reviews, it won't review you on those. So I just wanted to show everything that I have to do in that day. The one last thing I will cover before I move on is in my new cards tab. I forgot to mention my new cards a day is 119. That's so I can do 10,000 cards in 12 weeks. You don't have to go this crazy. This takes me about 2.5 hours a day of solid studying to go through this many cards plus my reviews. Change that to what works for you. Go back out of here now. Now the next thing I want to show you is how to add, not really add a new word, but because this deck has 30,000 words, it's a good chance that it's going to have the words that I want in it. But this will cover just rescheduling a card. If you need to make a new card, you will have to either watch another video or learn how to do that somewhere else. But assuming the card is already in your deck, and you want to add that to your current review, and you want to start studying it, say that I find a word in a game I'm playing, or I find a word online that I want to start memorizing. On my screen, for instance, I have Murabito, which is villager, and say I want to add that into my deck. I'll go into the card browser, and I will go into the search. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in vocab, because vocab is a field in my cards, and I'll kind of show you what that means. But this particular deck that I share and that I'm using is it has a vocab field. So you'll type in colon, and that's how you mark the field that you want to search. From here, you'll enter in the search term that you want, and the one I want is Murabito. That's what I'm looking for. You will need the kanji if you're using this field. I'll show you how to search other fields as well on the desktop version in a minute. Search the card, pops up because it is in this deck. Click on it, tap on it. In the top right, you have 3 dots. Those dots will open a submenu, and there's a rescheduled card option there. Because I want to start studying this card immediately, I'll type in 0 and hit OK. I've already done this, so I'm not going to go through it again, but for all intents, that's what you would do if you want to start studying that card. Here are the fields. You look on the screen, you see the vocab. I can't point to it, but you see the vocab field, you see the vocab furigana field, you see the vocab kana field. Those are the fields, and that's where I pulled that vocab from when I did a search. This deck has the kanji as you would see it in kanji form, but you can search the other fields too, and you can use wildcards with asterisks, and I'll get into that when I do the desktop version real quick. So let me switch over to that. I do have some stuff still open here, but I will go ahead and change that so you don't see that. Let me switch over to that screen so I can kind of give you a better idea. What you'll do on the Android, not the Android version, but the desktop version, is you click on the gear icon on the deck that you want to edit, and you go into Options. Now let me make sure that you can actually see this. The options needs to be pointing to a different screen here. So Anki options. This is the one you want. Let me make it so you don't see that. Okay. So very similar interface to the Android version. You have new cards up top, reviews, lapses. It's just set up a little bit differently. The interface is the only thing that changes. The options are still the same. As you can see, under new cards, I have my steps in minutes as 110, 30, 60, 180. New cards a day at 119. Easy interval change to 1 day. Everything is the same in these settings. So there's not a whole lot new there. If you watch the first part, you can pretty much get through that part. The next thing I will show you is the browser. Now, I think I will have to open the browser again, so just give me 1 second on that. On this, you'll go up to Browse, and the browser should be open. Let me make sure you can actually see what I'm looking at. I might have to change a setting here. Browser, where are you? Okay, I got a million screens open, so give me a second. Okay, so when you open the browser, this is what you're going to see on the desktop version. And you'll select the deck that you want to browse, which is Japanese core vocab for me. You'll notice up top it puts it in automatically for me, the search term. You want to add a search term to that, just hit a space at the end of it. And I want to search the, I already did vocab on Android, so I'm going to show you how to do a field that has a space in its name. So we'll do vocab space, and we're going to use the kana field. And because it has a space, I enclosed it in quotes. You want to put the colon there after that. And because I'm searching for kana, I don't need to use the kanji. It has some advantages, which I'm sure you'll figure out. But anyways, Murabito. So first things first, I search for Murabito. It shows up. It's right there. You have a similar interface as you did on the Android version. It's all pretty much mirrored and identical except for the way that it's presented. But say for instance, maybe you wanted to look for a word. You don't know the beginning, but you know it ends with Bito. So you're like, oh, what do I do about that? Well, search terms, and it works on Android as well. You put an asterisk. That's a wildcard. So I don't know what's before the Bito, so I'll put an asterisk there. That's a wildcard. Search. And hey, look at all these things that pop up, and you can search through them and find the one you're looking for. This is the one I'm looking for, town person. That's the remember the kanji, which is included in this deck as well. But then the villager is the term I'm looking for, and there's the kanji for it. And so hey, I found it. If what you're looking for starts with Bito, you would put Bito in the beginning, in Japanese of course, because this deck does not support Romaji. Bito, and then you put your wildcard. I don't think that the Japanese asterisk will work. So there's nothing that shows up for this one, because I think that would have to start with Bito. So what you could do is you could add a wildcard to the beginning and the end. What's that's going to do is it's going to give you anything before the Bito, then the Bito, and then if there's anything after that Bito, it'll also show you that. If you just do it like that, it won't show you stuff that's after it. And if you don't have the beginning wildcard, then the term has to start with Bito. And we didn't have any results at that point. So similar thing, you would click on the term you want, and I'm not going to add this card because I don't really care right now. But I'll go to Edit, and I'll go to Reschedule, and here you will do the place in review queue with interval between 0 and 0 days, and you'll hit OK. And that's going to do exactly the same thing that we did on the Android version. Anyways, this video did run long, and I tried not to make it run long, but I got through it as quick as I possibly could while still covering everything I needed to. If I missed anything, let me know, leave a comment, hit the like button, subscribe to my videos if you want. Come join me on Final Fantasy. My server and data center I play on is up top left. Thanks for watching. Hope this was some help to you, and I'll see you around. Bye-bye.